want to welcome you to our Odyssey training video. And in today's video, we are going to be covering how to log into the correct Odyssey site, how to change our personal information, how to create classes, and how to add students to those classes. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come down to the bottom, click on the E to open our internet. Now while that's opening, let me talk to you about Odyssey. So there are 4 different sites that we can log into. There's one for elementary school students and teachers, there's one for middle school students and teachers, and there are 2 different ones for high school students and teachers. One is for Jacksonville High only, and then there's one for all the other high school teachers and students. And we'll go over those here in just a minute when our page opens. One of the great things about Odyssey is that you can individualize the learning specifically for your students or just a small group of students. So elementary school teachers don't just see your class as one entity. When we get into Odyssey, you can subdivide those and make your small groups within Odyssey, and so you can give them the individualized assignments they need to get better in the topics. And same for secondary, but you can also set up each individual class period as their own class, just like you would on your roster. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and maximize my screen so we get a great view of it while it's loading up. And so once my page loads up, I'm going to come up here to the address bar, click on the address bar and take away what's up there. And if you're a high school teacher, we're going to check yours out first. So if you're a high school teacher that does not work at Jacksonville High, you'll type in Odyssey High 2.pcssd.org. And when we hit enter, and our page will load up. And this is what the login screen looks like. For if you're a high school teacher and you're at Odyssey High 2.pcssd.org. Now, if you are at Jacksonville High, you'll do Odyssey High.pcssd.org. And when your page loads, you'll notice it looks exactly the same. All the login pages are going to look exactly the same, not only for our sites, but for any Odyssey site. You'll just have to make sure that your address is correct. Now for middle school, you'll do Odyssey middle.pcssd.org. So Odyssey middle.pcssd.org is for our middle school teachers and students. And then last but not least, we have Odyssey elm.pcssd.org. And this is for the elementary school teachers. That's Odyssey elm, elem.pcssd.org. Now I'm going to be working within the elementary server, but most of the things that we're going to see here are going to be the same across the board for this video today. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my username, and then I'm going to click down on password. I'm going to put in my password. Then we'll go ahead and come down here and click login. Now, this is the point of the video where if you do not have a login, or you have forgotten your password, or for some reason you can't log in, you need to go ahead and stop the video, shoot me an email at jmills@pcssd.org, and let me know what school you're at and that you need an Odyssey login, and we'll go ahead and get you an Odyssey login so you can come back, start the video right where we're at the dashboard after you log in, and we'll go from there, because you have to have a teacher login to be able to do the rest of the stuff we're going to need today. So once again, if you do not have a login, just go ahead and stop the video right here and come back to it after we get you a login. For the rest of us, after we log in, we'll see this dashboard right here. Now, if this is the first time you've logged on a specific computer, a user agreement will come up. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom, and you will see where you can click OK, and then you'll be able to get to your dashboard. So once we get to our dashboard and get logged in, we can see we have all these different tabs up here. Okay, they say dashboard, my students, courses and assignments, assessments, reports, content, message center, community, and then we see over in this corner up here we have our name, help, and log out. So we're going to be working in just a couple different places today. Today we're going to be looking at the My Students tab, and then we're going to be looking at where our name is. In later videos we'll talk about courses and assignments, we'll talk about assessments, and then we're going to spend a couple different videos on reports, learning how to run different reports and why we would want to run these different reports. But like I said, for today we're going to be focusing in the My Students and our name. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to change our own personal information. So let's say you've just got it recently, username and password created by me. I'm going to create a standard one, or if you forgot it and I've had to reset it for you, I'm just going to use a standard one. So when you log in, if you come over here to your name and you click on it, you'll see that a little box will come up in the middle of your screen, and this will be your personal information that is logged into Odyssey. And as you can see, there's my name, and I said I'm currently a kindergarten teacher, and I have my username and my password and my email address. Now, for some reason you need to change your password. All you would do is click in the box, put in your new password. As you can see, it's not coming up because it's encrypted. So there's no way for me to just look at and tell you your password. I have to go in and reset it, or anybody does. And this is the same with the students. They are encrypted to keep them secure. I can look over here and I can see my permissions. What am I allowed to do? And these are things that we can't change. So you can see that I can put assignments into my school, and then I can change student information and just do a bunch of changing permissions. And so after I go ahead and change my password, I can just go ahead and click save, and it will save my username and password into the system. Alright, so that's how we change our personal information. And remember, one of your assignments is to take a screenshot of that box that we were just looking at up and upload it to Blackboard. Alright, let's head over to the My Students tab. So we come over here and we're going to go ahead and click on My Students. And this is where we're going to be working the rest of the time today. It's within the My Students tab. So as we look at the screen that comes up, we see we have this bar over here on the left that's got a couple different things. Yours will say My Students, My Classes, My School, and My Binders. If you've already created classes like me, you'll see the names of those classes right here in the list under My Classes. And then we can see the it says Welcome to Student Manager. Then it has some help topics for us. So if you forget what you need to do, or you want to learn some more information on what binders are, or something we're not talking about, you can click here and it'll bring up a little community topic about those things. And so how little reminders for you. You can see up here we have new and we have actions. We have refresh over here, and then here's just some little help topics on this far side. So we need to create a new class. Okay, so we want to create something brand new. So we're going to come over here to the new tab. We're going to look under here. We can do new student. We can add a new class, or we can add a new binder. We want to add a new class. So when we click on that, we'll see another little box comes up where we can put our class name. So if I want to work on a small group, I can do math intervention, or let's do, not math intervention, let's do math extension. So I know that these are going to be the students that I'm going to need to push farther in math because they're trucking right along, and I want to make sure that I'm extending their learning. I can pick a grade if I would like, and I can pick a subject. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that this subject is math, just for my reminders. And so I can look down here, and this list right here is actually a list of teachers that work at my school. So you are attached with whatever school that you are working at. So you can see all the teachers and all the students from your school that are in the system. What this list is here for, so let's say that I have a student teacher who's in the system, or I have a para that's working in my room, or I have a co-teacher that's working in my room. I can add them to my class. So let's say I just go ahead and add this teacher into my class. And now when they were to log in under their classes, my classes, they'll see this class that I've created and everything that I do with it. And that is giving them the permission to work within that class as well. So this is a great opportunity for collaboration between any other teachers you have in your room, or interventionists that you might work with, or that might work with some of your students. So that's a great way to use that collaboration piece that we're all looking for. So, but in this one I don't have a co-teacher or anyone that works with me, so I'm just going to remove it and leave it myself, and then click save. And if we look over here on the left, we can see that, boom, there it is, math extensions. So I can see all of my classes here in my list. So now if I click on math extensions, the class I just created, we can see that I have no students in my class yet. So you can see 0 students for class math extension. So now it's time for us to add some students to our classes. There's a couple different ways that we can do this. The first way is we can just search the student. So let's say I've put in one of my students, and all I have to do is put in her first name, and boom, all the students in the system with that name will come up. Well, I need to add little Cindy Lou Who into my math extension class. So what I can do is I can click on this checkbox, and when I click on this checkbox, I want you to watch this action bar right up here. So when I click here, watch up there, look, a number 1 just came up. So now I need to do something with Cindy. I want to put her into my class. So doing something is an action. This is the way I remember how to do this. Doing something is an action. So I'm going to come over to my action tabs, and I want to add Cindy to a class. And so there I've got my whole list of all of my classes that I've created. And if I were to have a co-teacher create one, that class would be there as well in this list. But I just need to add her to the math extension class. So I can click on that, and I can click add right there. And now if I go back to my math extension, see that I have 1 student in my class now. But let's say you want to add more than 1 student at a time. You can do that too. So if we come down here to the My School tab in our left hand side and we click on it, we get where we have classes and we have students. So this is a place where all of the classes are listed that have been built in my school. So if I click on that, we'll see all the classes that have been created, and there's 144 in here right now. I can also click on students, and we'll see the list of students that are at my school who are in the system currently. And I say in the system currently because sometimes not all of the students are put in. If they transfer in or they're brand new to the school, sometimes they won't be put in. So what I need to do is I can scroll down. So let's see. I know that I need this student, and we look up here and that action comes up one more time. And well, I got a bunch of 5th and 6th graders and 1st graders in here, and I want to sort my students by their grade. So I can come up here, click on grade, and there they are. They're sorted by their grade. So now I've got all these kindergarten students, and I'm a kindergarten teacher, so that's exactly what I need. So now look, I clicked another one, and I've got 2 up there. And I need to go ahead and keep looking for another student. And I just added yesterday. And now we can see they're also still sorted by their last names as well. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to find my student. And there's another one I need. And we can see that I've got up 3, and I'm still moving pages, so it's still selecting them as I go. Now remember, we can come up here to action and go add to class, but what else we can do is see these little dots right next to the name and how the hand changes from a pointer finger to a full hand. I can go right by that student where I need, get that hand up, click and hold, and now all 4 of those students on those different pages have been selected. And I can just drag them, and I want to put them in the math extension class, and boom. Just go ahead and drop them, and 4 students have been added into the math extension class. So now, when I click on my math extension class, you can see it's now been populated with those 4 students that I just added. One more way. So let's say we're looking at our student list again, and I'm going to go ahead and resort it. And I'm looking for this student, and oh, there's another one I need to add, so I can just, grab Mr. Charlie Brown and move him. So I can just drop him straight into my math extension class, and now he's there. And I'm looking for my next student, and well, they should be right here, and I don't see them. So now what I can do is I need to add a new student. So if I want to add them straight into my class, I'll go ahead and click on my class, and we'll see that I've got my students populated in there. But I need to add a new student to this class, so I'm going to go up to New. I'm going to click on Student, and a box comes up where I can add a new student into my system. So I need to add my new student. So I need to add my student Linus into my system. I've given him, he's a kindergartner. Then I'm going to create a username. And a password for him. Now what you can do is you can create the normal username and password, whatever they use to log into the computer. That's a great way for your younger students to help them remember. It's the same password, and same with your older students. They just know it's the same username and password. You're not having to help them remember a different one all the time. And see, we can even add a parent login, and in a later video we'll talk about what a parent can see when they log in. Now, if you wanted, you can add different demographic information about this student. And remember, this is password protected, so it is harbored information. It's hiding the information you need. Now, if we look down here, I was like, all right, I'm done. Well, I can't click on my save down here. What we have to do is we have to come over to subjects, the subjects tab first before it'll let us to save, because it wants us to check and make sure we don't want to add anything else to their starting login. And you can see now we can click save, and I don't want to change anything, so I just come back and I click save, and now look, Linus is added straight into my class. So once again, to add a new student directly to your class, let's say I need to add a new one into my intervention class. I'm going to go up to my new tab, click new. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the information for my new student. It's little Scott. Add him into my class. He's a kindergartner. Give him my username. And then go ahead and add a password. Little simple one for him to remember. And then, oh, remember I can't click save yet. I've got to go over to subjects. Make sure I don't want to change any subjects, and click save. And there, there you can see Scott has been added into my intervention class. Alright guys, so that's how we add students into classes and create our classes. Now I want to show you one more thing. Now this is a trick and a tip that may help you create your very first class. This might be a little easier or it might not, but I want to make sure I show you so you know all the different ways. So if we go back to our students list, and let's say we're going to reorganize it by grade, and I need to add this student, this student, this student, and this student into a brand new class. Okay, and I don't have it created yet over here, and I was thinking, oh man, I need to go ahead and add these students to make a small group with these students. So I can come up here and go add to class, and we can see up here at the top where it says select a class or create a new class. So if I click create new, that same box is going to come up, and I can change what's this new class name, and I can add a subject to it, and I know it's science because I need a science, and I don't need another teacher, and I can go ahead and click save. What's going to happen is the students are going to be populated and the class is going to be created. You can see I've got the science small group down here, and it's populated with those same students that I just had clicked. So just a quick reminder that for your assignments for this course, you need to make sure that you have that screenshot of your personal information screen up. And then also what I need for you to do is you need to create one class. You need to populate it with all your students, and then you're going to click on your class just to have it pulled up with the students populated in it, and take a screenshot of this and then upload it to Blackboard. And remember guys, if you need any help, just shoot me an email at jmills@pcssd.org, or you can contact me through Blackboard. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing your submissions.